Welcome back, Zach here. Today's March 4th, 2016. One of the major news headlines today is an update in the death of Bobbi Kristina Brown, Whitney Houston's daughter, who was found submerged in a bathtub the night before Super Bowl 49, much like how her mother was found submerged in a bathtub. I've done two videos on the deaths of Whitney Houston and Bobbi Kristina Brown to date. Neither of those videos have gotten enough views. The information I have put out about their deaths is information that needs to reach the masses so that they can learn how these celebrities are sacrificed in ritualistic fashion by the numbers by a Masonic code. It is the Freemasons and the Zionists who control the mainstream media, who control the recording industry, and who have a stranglehold on our government. These people are very ritualistic. They use esoteric knowledge in their practices. We're going to talk more about it in this video. This news of Bobbi Kristina Brown's death comes out on what would have been her 23rd birthday, March 4th, 2016. Notice this news coverage is from CNN, who broadcasts out of Atlanta. Atlanta's on the 33rd parallel, a very important number to the Freemasons. Bobbi Kristina Brown was also found in the bathtub in Atlanta. So let's read the reporting and then let's talk about what's significant. Drug intoxication and immersion in a bathtub of water led to Bobbi Kristina Brown's death months later from pneumonia and brain damage, a Georgia medical examiner said Friday, after a judge allowed him to release the findings. The Fulton County Medical Examiner's office said it could not say whether the 2015 death of pop icon Whitney Houston's daughter was an accident or something else. So notice they blame it on drug intoxication. So often when celebrities die in suspicious fashion, the cause of death connects to their name or the date they died on. Drug intoxication has gematria of 86, identical to the name Bobbi Kristina Brown, and 86 is no arbitrary number in this study of gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words. Think about just on the surface what the phrase 86th means. That means to get rid of. The words symbol, triangle, and pyramid also have gematria of 86. Of course, her mother, Whitney Houston, a major pop icon, a major symbol. The reporting goes on. Zoom in here. Emergency crews found Brown unresponsive in her suburban Atlanta home in January 2015, the night before the Super Bowl. It was January 31st. Remember, Super Bowl equals 131 in gematria. Championship equals 131 in gematria. Super Bowl 49 was played the next day, Patriots and Seahawks. And in a moment, we'll talk about how her incident at age 21, that number 21, was very important in the same Super Bowl. Anyhow, and she died at a hospice in July at age 22, having never regained consciousness. The medical examiner's office said it found several drugs in Brown's system, including marijuana, alcohol, a cocaine byproduct, medications that sedate people and treat anxiety, and morphine. The office said it couldn't tell whether the morphine was a sign of heroin use. Heroin metabolizes to morphine. So again, this happened in Atlanta. Atlanta's on the 33rd parallel. ATL, the abbreviation for the city, equals 33. Atlantis, the lost city, which Atlanta's named after, has gematria of 33. 33 is often a number of sacrifice. Think of the story of Jesus getting crucified at 33 on the cross. Moving on, the findings released on what would have been her 23rd birthday strengthen an eerie link between the deaths of Brown and her pop icon mother 3 years earlier. Whitney Houston in 2012 was found dead face down in a tub of water, a death ruled as an accidental drowning complicated by cocaine use. All right, so with regards to this information coming on the birthday, I pointed this out in the last two videos I made long before this news. The birthdays are used as measurement dates in these ritualistic killings. And if you're new to my channel, I have shown how all of the celebrity deaths that you've heard about in the last few years, especially in this year, as we've had many from New Year's Eve up to the present, which is now March 4th, 2016, I've shown how the birthdays are always very significant in these suspicious deaths related to celebrities. I want you to notice that birthday has gematria 42, just like the word Freemason. Out of all the months, only February has gematria 42. Whitney Houston died in February on February 11th, the 42nd day of the year. And Whitney Houston's birthday is very much connected to the date her daughter died on, which we're about to get to. 42, a Freemason signature, an important number. Notice that the date Whitney Houston died on, the 42nd day of the year, is also the day that leaves 323 days remaining in the year. Show you what 323 has to do with bathtub in just a moment. Notice that bathtub has gematria of 74, like Masonic, like Lucifer. And as I just mentioned, Jesus was crucified at age 33. I want you to notice that Jesus equals 74. Cross equals 74. He died on the cross at age 33. Joshua is the English translation of Jesus. The Greek spelling of Jesus is this way, Yeshua. The reason Oregon's up here is because Oregon is the only state with a gematria of 74. It's the 33rd state. They say Jesus was Messiah, Messiah 74, Jesus, the story of the gospel, 74. None of this coding is arbitrary. And again, bathtub also sums to 74. Whitney and her daughter in the bathtub. So, Masonic also equals 74. The Bible has a lot of Masonic coding. Revelation, the final book of the Bible, is 7 of this, 4 of that. 7 of this, 4 of that. So much 7 and 4 in Revelation. A lot of 7 and 4 in the Bible as well. Notice that Lucifer has gematria of 74. Lucifer, a word that comes from the King James Version of the Bible. Lucifer in Jewish gematria equals 323. Again, the date that Whitney died on leaves 323 days left in the year. And she also died in the bathtub. It is the Freemasons who are responsible for this coding. Masonic equals 223, a reshuffling of the letters that are in Lucifer. In Revelation, the final book of the Bible, it says the false Jews will rule in the end times. They are known as the synagogue of Satan. In this world, they are the Zionist Jews who control the recording industry, who control the media, who control so much. Whitney Houston's birthday is August 9th. August 9th is the day that leaves 144 days left in the year. Her daughter died July 26th, 2015. This was exactly 144 days after she turned 22 years old. So from her birthday to her death, a span of 144 days. Her mother born on the day that leaves 144 days left in the year. In Revelation, the numbers 144 and 666 are both used. There's a connection between 144 and 666. The phrase mark of the beast equals 144 in gematria. Mark of the beast is said to be the number 666. If you add up the first 144 decimal points of pi, it sums to 666. There's another channel out there besides mine who educates on the relationship between the English language and pi. Again, the first 144 decimal points of pi sum to 666. Mark of the beast equals 144. Look at this article from February 23rd, 2/23, like Masonic, like the Synagogue of Satan, that says after Whitney's death, Whitney Houston's album sales rise 144%. This stuff is true, sick, truth seeker, sick. The numbers 44 and 144 have a lot to do with killing. The word killer in Jewish gematria equals 144. The article says Brown's father, singer Bobbi Brown, expressed displeasure at Friday's release of his daughter's autopsy information. First and foremost, 23 years ago today, Bobbi Kristina was born. Chrissy will always live in my heart and soul. Bobbi Brown said in a statement released by his lawyer. I love my baby girl. For news affiliates to seek and obtain my daughter's autopsy report before anyone has been brought to justice for her death is a mind-blowing to me. Please pray for my family. Authorities in Georgia have always maintained they long knew how Brown died, but they declined to release details because of Superior Court's order to seal the autopsy information. For the record, Truth Seeker, I have another blog post from September of 2015 when this story was also put out by CNN. CNN did this same story in September. They're bringing it back on her birthday as if it's new information, which I'm a little bit confused about, but at the same time, I'm showing you why. The Masons are very much about birthdays. We have grown up in a Masonic nation under a Masonic order, which is probably why we as a people are so much about our birthdays. These people have raised us. They have programmed us. They have instilled their values in us. She was born in the year 93. This could also tie in with the reason she was sacrificed. The number 93 has a lot to do with death. The symbol of Jesus on the cross is the crucifix. Crucifix has gematria of 93. The occult worships Saturn. Saturn has this gematria of 93. Saturn is the keeper of time. Time in Jewish gematria sums to 144. There's very much a relationship between all of these numbers. The date she died on, July 26th, this is the number of Revelation in Jewish gematria. Revelation's the 66th book of the Bible, the book that makes 666, 144 infamous. Revelation has 22 chapters. She died at age 22. Also, what's interesting is July 26, 2015 was Obama's 6th year, 6th month, 6th day in office. 666. On this date, Detroit celebrated the first public satanic statue of Baphomet that was missing its breasts. Typically, the Baphomet has breasts. This is also the same date that the TV show I Am Kate debuted. The show began with an alarm clock shot at 4:32 in the morning. The number 432, when it's added to its reflection, 432 plus 234 sums to 666. And I don't think this is any coincidence. I think these are all satanic tributes from, the gang in charge, the Freemasons, who give us our programming, who give us our presidents, who give us our news. The woman they had in Detroit, the news anchor at the satanic statue covering, her name in gematria summed to 666. I have videos on all this. You can go back and watch. I go into much greater detail. Bobbi Kristina Brown died on this same day, 144 days after her 22nd birthday, with 144 connected to 666. From the date she died till today is a span of 222 days. Hell in Jewish gematria equals 222. Revelation is largely about hell coming to earth. I really think this world we live in is a purposeful, man-made hell. That's what I've thought since I was a child. Still feel the same way today. And yes, this Masonic gang is who is responsible. Another news story out today, absolutely ridiculous, absolutely contrived, absolutely playing on the racial division going on in the media. Supposedly a knife, a possible murder weapon connected to O.J. Simpson from the 94 incident is revealed on March 4th. The word murder equals 34. And with regards to murder, notice in the reporting of Bobbi Kristina Brown, they said, the coroner said they can't determine if it was an accident or intentional. If she really died, I suspect she was murdered purposefully in ritualistic fashion. So when she was found, Truth Seeker, in the bathtub, she was 21 years old. And 21, a special number, another number that connects to Saturn, the keeper of time. She's born in 93, Saturn the small way, 21. Bible equals 21. Bobbi equals 21. And again, this happened the day before the Super Bowl. The way Super Bowl 49 closed out was with Russell Wilson's 21st pass being intercepted by number 21 with 21 seconds left when the pass came on the down 2nd and 1 on the date 2/1, February 1st. Major 21 tributes at the end of Super Bowl 49. Then they sent number 21 to the Grammys, where he intercepted a Grammy, and then he opened it up and said the new winner was Beck. Beck equals 21. It was Beck's 12th studio album. 12, the reflection of 21. Russell Wilson finished 12 of 21 on the game, with a 21st pass getting picked for the loss. The first time all season the Seahawks passed on the goal line when there was no reason to. They had a timeout. They had Marshawn Lynch ready to run it in. They also sent Russell Wilson to the ESPYs as the opening joke. The joke was that he should have handed it off. ESPYs equals 21 the small way. The commonality between all these things, they're all events run by the Masons, the Zionists, who operate by this numerological code. So Bobbi Kristina Brown, a ritualistic sacrifice for the Super Bowl. This year there were many ritualistic sacrifices for the Super Bowl, the most obvious being Glenn Fry, who died the weekend before the NFC Championship, which the Cardinals were playing in. He was in the 96 film Jerry Maguire, where he played the owner of the Cardinals. I did a video showing how Jerry Maguire projected this Super Bowl, even the Black Panther tribute. I did all that long before the Super Bowl happened. Here's my older videos on the death of Bobby and Whitney. Bobbi Kristina Brown, not Bobby Brown, he's still alive. Should be noted that Whitney Houston died on the 33rd birthday of Brandy. Joan Rivers died on the 33rd birthday of Beyonce. Both Brandy's full name and Beyonce's full name in Gematria, their birth names sum to 93, that number of Saturn. This year at the Super Bowl, Beyonce gave a tribute to Malcolm X. Malcolm X equals 93. Martin Luther King Jr. equaled 93. Those two only met one time in history on a date with 93 numerology. They both died at age 39. Beyonce wore a similar outfit to Michael Jackson, who performed at the Super Bowl in 93. None of this is coincidence. I have videos on all these things. I go into much greater depth. In Revelation, the verse about the number 666 is this. Revelation 13:18. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. What I want you to notice is, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast has gematria of 223. The number of the Masons, the number of the Zionists, the people who operate by this numerological code. A lot of people know about the number 666, but they don't know the meaning. The Masons pride themselves on being the keepers of knowledge. They have been in power for thousands of years. They know things that we don't. That's why they tease us with this numerology and operating in this way. They know they are doing things that are beyond our comprehension and largely beyond our ability to even find out, because the information is suppressed, hidden, secret. But you learn this code, you can start to piece things together yourself, which is what I'm doing. The opening line in that is, here is wisdom. Period. Revelation's the 66th book of the Bible. Here is wisdom equals 66. In Revelation, it references the synagogue of Satan, which equals 223. And again, mark of the beast equals 144. You sum the first 144 decimal points of pi, it sums to 666, the mark of the beast. Look here, Easter Bunny, 144. Santa Claus, 666. I'm sure many of you, like me, have wondered why we have these symbols, why we have these phrases for these spiritual holidays. Well, wonder no more. It's all part of the sick, ongoing Masonic joke we live in. These websites have gematria calculators. Riding the Beast, go here, find their gematria calculator. It can help you make these calculations. I always recommend doing it by hand, doing it by head though. I'm able to do all this stuff in my head. It's very helpful when you're watching TV to decode things quickly, when you don't have the calculator there. But at the same time, the calculator can help you. It's pretty much the message, Truth Seeker. You know, I hope Bobbi Brown finds this video. and help spread the truth. Love to see a celebrity speaking out because people listen to celebrities a lot more than they listen to people like me. You know, just a guy on YouTube trying to get the truth out there. All right, truth seeker, until next time.